Canto 3. Unveiling the Spirit in Material Action. Arjuna asked, O Krishna, haven't you just said what is superior? That spiritual knowledge over material action is better. Then why is it that you coerce me into action? This ghastly karma on me, why do you sanction? My mind stands confused and disarrayed, for it fully understands not all that you have said. Hence show me which is the correct way. What will benefit me? I request you to please say. Shri Krishna said, Men of two faiths in this world dwell, O pure one, as I had said before as well. Those to whom seeking the eternal knowledge gives satisfaction, and those who believe firmly in the yoga of action. A state of detached action in works can't be reached without man's beginning and performing the action. And great spiritual boundaries can't be breached by physically renouncing all the works or by inaction. Not a single such moment can pass for man, as without engaging in activity, exist no one can. This nature's qualities on all beings has been endowed. A bond of works and actions on man has been bestowed. A way to physically control the senses a man may find, but if he constantly thinks of the senses in his mind, he is caught up in self-discipline's wrong notion. Such a being is beguiled by his misplaced devotion. He who by the mind controls the senses and is detached, O Arjuna, from all sensual disturbances, and performs all his works and actions in this yogic way, he is considered the most superior person any day. Without attachment, perform your every action, because action always supersedes inaction. Even your body's life journey cannot be sustained. Without action, no accomplishment can be attained. Except the actions that are performed in the state of sacrifice. Chained to karma's bonds are all actions done otherwise. That is why, O Arjuna, your actions you regulate with the freedom of detachment, as I postulate. Brahma, the progenitor, through the act of sacrifice, bore the first living beings and put forth this edifice. He said, As from sacrifice you all originated, through sacrifice your life's evolution will be actuated. Through sacrifice the gods you can bolster and call upon their blessings with your fervor. Thus, mutually you can together advance. With the Supreme's blessings, all life you can enhance. When through sacrifice the gods you impress, all your desired enjoyments they shall bless. These enjoyments to the Supreme whoever doesn't offer, such a person is not but a thieving beggar. After the sacrifice, whatever is the undistributed leftover, the good who are free of sin eat the oblation's remainder. The evil offer only to themselves to eat the food and only consume sin. Their actions accumulate no good. From food, the living being's existence is found, and food is formed when rain falls on the ground, and rain comes from the sacrifice or yajna. and sacrifice originates through works or karma. Karma is born of Brahma or the progenitor, and Brahma of the formless, imperishable creator. Thus, the all-pervading Brahma is engaged, and in the state of sacrifice, the universe is arranged. He who follows not this universe's wheel and succumbs to whatsoever his senses feel is base in his pursuit of sensual enjoyment. O Arjuna, such a life is but a wasted predicament. But he who revels in the delight of the self and lives joyously, contented within the self, such an illumined and awakened person very joyfully exists, as his need for work to be done no longer persists. Such a great one has nothing to be gained, neither in performing actions nor in inaction. Nothing exists thus in all of existence that can bind him with dependence. So perennially perform all of your actions. Detachedly fulfill the duties that life sanctions. For when man in detached action engages with his karma, he transcends the highest stages. King Janaka and the rest attained perfection only through their works and liberated action. Detached actions for the sake of the world are best. This is said to be the true yogic way by the wisest. Whatever actions the best amongst men perform, the other men seek to imitate. Whatever standard he sets as the norm, that the world tries to follow and emulate. O Arjuna, I have no duties to discharge towards the peoples of all three worlds at large. There is nothing I haven't gained or seek to gain, and yet I perform my duties, come sun or rain. If I did not meticulously perform my every action and lead by example in every aspect, O Arjuna, all men would follow likewise and ape my path in every respect. For if I were not to follow this path of action, the peoples shall follow suit and sink to destruction. I would become the perpetuator of pandemonium and then have to slay them all for the opprobrium. O Arjuna, just as the men of ignorance perform their actions all engrossed in attachment, so too the wise remain motivated as a norm to better the world by their works in detachment. Without creating a divide in the ignorant minds, a middle path the intelligent mind finds. He gets the right work done from the attached, despite his remaining fully detached. All the types of actions originated from nature's qualities and their interactions. The ignorant one, who is by his ego deluded, thinks his outer self performs all actions. O mighty armed one, those who know the foundation of how nature's qualities through works function, know that the senses attach to the sense objects and are unperturbed and detached in all aspects. These qualities of nature bewilder the ignorant, who wish not to forego attachment at any instant. He who knows should from disturbing them abstain, and from altering their mental state he should refrain. Consecrating your actions to me, meditate upon yourself, that is a part of me, without holding on to desires or prestige, without grief or remorse, ready your weapons to lay siege. Those amongst men who thus regularly perform, and to my instructions they dutifully conform, with the purest and blemishless devotion, from karma's bondage they attain redemption. Those who lack the conviction and regard, and by instructions they bluntly disregard, from all knowledge they are by their ignorance deluded, from a growth in consciousness they are excluded. Even the knowledgeable person always in life acts as per one's own nature when he interacts. When all living creatures by their natures are bound, in its suppression what truth can be found? Likes and dislikes arise out of the senses, and their emergence one cannot avoid. But one must not fall prey to their pretenses, else progress on the spirit's path is destroyed. Working for oneself, even though faultily, is much better than to serve perfectly under someone else's fetter. Even if death comes while performing one's natural duty, it is better, as serving others is a perilous vulnerability. Arjuna asked, "So, what is it that provokes man to sin and act against his will, thus against his own kin? Wherefrom does the force arise to rebel, O descendant of Vrishni? Please tell." Krishna answered, "It is desire and its furious sibling, anger, born from the quality Rajas. They are related to one another. All ensnaring and all polluting, they cause life to go in vain. These are the two greatest enemies that ought to be slain. Just as fire is masked by smoke and dust, or like the embryo is sheathed within the amniotic crust, in this manner similar and precise, knowledge is hidden by an outer disguise. Knowledge is covered by this perennial enemy, even in the cases of the knowledgeable many. O Arjuna, such is desire's lustful form, which rages like a quenchless firestorm. It is said, if the senses occupy the governing seat, the mind and the intellect desires can cheat. Knowledge is bewildered by the sensual stimulants, and hoodwinked become the two instruments. Therefore, know this, O mighty seeker of light, taming the senses is your first fight. Slay the forces that proliferate the sin. These destroyers of knowledge conquer and win. Beyond the senses that are supreme is the mind. Beyond the mind, the awakened intelligence you find. But beyond the awakened intelligence, it is thus said, it is He, the eternal Self, the Supreme Godhead. With this knowledge of the Supreme Self, assailing your mind and intellect, gather yourself. O mighty armed one, this formidable enemy you must slay. Destroy desire, for truth's light to make way. Thus ended the third canto of the Bhagavad Gita, where Sri Krishna described the governing spiritual forces that are at play behind the veil of the material objects and actions. Hence.